Today, the UFC is making its way to Perth, Australia, where in the main event, Carlos Blackjack Ulberg will step in the octagon with Dominick the Dominator Reyes. We are one fight away from hopefully the UFC throwing Dominick Reyes into a title fight. Let's make it right. Let's make it right from the Jon Jones fight. Throw him in the title fight. Let's get it cracking. All of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it. We right back with it. We've been taking some time off because the UFC fell off for a few weeks. Not a lot going on, but we back in it. We back in the saddle. Your boy Matt is going to be back dedicated to the channel, and we're going to make this happen. So let's kick it off. UFC. Going Perth, Australia. Main event. Blackjack, Carlos, Ulberg, stepping in the octagon, Dominick Reyes, what say you? This is what I say. I got Dominick Reyes for the win. And look, I'm not even going to try to go over the X's and O's of why it's going to happen and everything like that. It's written in the stars. You know what I'm saying? It's the vibes that are going around, man. At the end of the day, it's Dominick Reyes' time, bro. It's his time. Now, back in the day, Dominick Reyes, nice winning streak, gets a shot at Jon Jones. It does not go his way, via the scorecards. Jon Jones is awarded the decision win. From that point, things began to go and look downhill for Dominick Reyes. Now, here's the thing. I always felt like they were going to be downhill and it was going to look bad for Dominick Reyes because there are very few people in life that can get that close to achieving their dream, can get that close to achieving what they've set out their entire life to achieve, and then have it taken away from them via decision. This is not like a football game in which the QB didn't throw the winning touchdown. He threw the losing interception. That's a mistake on his part. You know what I'm saying? This is not a situation in which you got LeBron and the Lakers playing. 3 seconds left on the clock. The ball is going to LeBron. He puts it up and he misses, and they lose the game. This is not that scenario. This is a scenario in which Dominick Reyes went out there and fought his heart out against the greatest of all time, Jon Jones. And not because Dominick Reyes made a mistake and Jon capitalized on it. Not because Dominick Reyes made a mistake and Jon caught him with a shot and laid him out or knocked him out or submitted him or anything like that. He lost the fight via the judge's decision. A judge saw fit to take that fight from Dominick Reyes. And so what I'm saying is that a lot of people aren't wired to be that close, like within arm's reach, arm's length of their dream being achieved. Have it taken away from them, by things that were out of their control. And then they bounce back and get right back in the saddle and make it back to the top. That's extremely hard. Extremely hard. Very few people in this life are able to pull that off. So what you saw with Dominick Reyes is after taking that loss, it went downhill, bro. It was loss after loss and devastating loss. You know what I'm saying? Devastating knockouts. Like full blown inviting CTE to the barbecue, you know what I'm saying, knockouts, you know what I'm talking about. It was rough. It was rough, you know what I'm saying. And credit to Dominick Reyes because he came out of that. He pulled out of that. Now, you can go back and look at old videos I've made on this channel in which, and I'm sad to say it, I was talking bad about Dominick Reyes because there was a point where I felt like he was just, why are you out here getting your brains bashed in and taking this damage? It might be time to hang up the gloves. But shout out to Dominick Reyes because he didn't listen to buffoons like me. He stuck with it. He stayed the course. And even when he came to my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, at the Yum Center, he got a huge win there. You know, he was a hometown favorite, and he's definitely not from Louisville, Kentucky. But people can recognize his heart. You know what I'm saying? People can recognize the release. Like everything all came to that moment. And he got that win, and you could tell by how he looked after getting the win that this was such a major relief off of him. And that translates to people watching that who knows what that feels like. You know, people who know what it feels like to be right there and have it taken from you, and then you build your way back up to the top to get that chance again. Well, in order to realize that dream, to get that second chance, he's got to go through a man named Carlos Ulberg. Now, Carlos Ulberg, city kickboxing crew, you know what I'm saying, head coach, unless something might have shifted over in that camp, should be Eugene Behrman, if I'm not mistaken. You know, a lot of famous people in that gym. You know, your Israel Adesanyas. You know, you got Alexander Volkanovski who moonlights with that training camp. You know, you've got a lot of tough guys. Navajo Sterling in there. He's a newer guy. He's fighting on this card. And it's very interesting because Carlos Ulberg, in the beginning of his career, he looked like a kickboxer that was going to run into a few wrestlers, and within a few years, he was going to be up out of the UFC, right? But the man really honed his skills. He improved his striking accuracy, so he just wasn't throwing shots just to be throwing shots. He improved what I would say his fight IQ to kind of realize when he needed to evade these wrestlers, when he needed to back up, not getting caught up against the cage or up against the fence. You know, staying mobile, staying away, sticking them with the jab, hitting them with some devastating leg kicks, calf kicks. Let's keep it moving. Let's evade. Let's move to the side. You know what I'm saying? He really worked hard on changing up his style to where he's just not solely a stand-up kickboxer. You know what I'm saying? He added enough grappling defense. You know, he's not getting ready to be on the ground scrambling with anybody and win the scramble per se, but he's incorporated enough sprawling technique, enough grapple defense to be able to go in there, maybe not with world-class grapplers or wrestlers, but he can hold his own in a regular MMA fight, right? Or at least if he's going to be in there with a world-class wrestler or grappler, if they get him to the ground, he knows what to do to try to ride it out, get to the next round where it starts standing up and do his thing. So you got these two guys going against each other. And man, I got to pick Dominick Reyes because this run of Dominick Reyes has been special. We've seen Dominick Reyes' chin get tested. I was confused when I saw that he still had a chin. You know what I'm saying? When I found out Dominick Reyes still had a chin, I was shocked. Because I was for sure that chin had left him long ago. Him and his chin had split. The chin took the kids. He kept the house, and they kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? But his chin is still with him. It's been tested, and it's held up. And he hasn't had a ton of moments in his last run where in the fight he looked like at any second he was about to lose it, or he got wobbled and he was about to be put out. None of that. He's looked really solid on this run, and while we haven't seen Carlos Ulberg necessarily hurt or looking like he's going to lose the fight, I think that this fight is going to be a banger. I don't think it's going to go the full 5 rounds. I will say that. For either side that you choose, I think it's probably going to be a finish on either side. But I got to go along with Dominick Reyes. Of course, he's had the better strength of schedule. You know what I'm saying? He's fought the legends of the sport. He's fought a lot of top talent. And he wielded himself back in this position. And there's something to be said about the intestinal fortitude that it takes to get back in this position. And right now, if he goes out there and he defeats Carlos Ulberg, the UFC needs to pull the trigger, pull it quickly, and give him another light heavyweight title shot. Just go on and do it, bro. There's nobody else after this Ankalaev Pereira fight. There's nobody else at the current moment that everybody is really trying to see in that spot. Yeah, I know Yuri Prochazka's making his way back, but bro, he could chill for a second. If Dominick Reyes wins this fight, give Dominick Reyes the title shot, lock him in the octagon with whoever the champion is between Ankalaev and Pereira, and give him that shot. Have a feel-good moment. If you don't want to make it the main event of the pay-per-view, it can be the co-main event. Throw something else on the top. But the UFC needs to take advantage of this. Don't wait it out. Don't let him go out there and beat Carlos Ulberg and then sign him against Yuri Prochazka. Man, don't take the chance, bro. Just lock him in there. Let him go out there and fight for the title. And hey, if he loses, he loses. It's still a good story because he made it back. If he wins, you might have one of the greatest title stories of all time. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of great ones. Let's remember Anthony Pettis gets slotted in to fight for the lightweight championship. He wasn't even supposed to be the original fighter. The guy that was supposed to be fighting had to pull out due to concussion injuries. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he goes out there against his rival, the man that he did the Showtime kick against. We're talking about Benson Henderson. And it was a great feel-good moment. It was there in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? You heard the story about Anthony Pettis, his father getting slain, the street violence. And he goes out there, and in front of all of these people, he achieves his dream. He wins the lightweight championship. What about Glover Teixeira? In his 40s, late in his career, he goes out there. He becomes the champion. What about that, bro? Glover Teixeira goes out there and he becomes a champion, a guy that we never thought was going to be in that position once John Jones defeated him back in the day. You know, there's been a lot of moments. How about when Brandon Moreno went out there and captured the flyweight championship the first time? And you could see the realization as it hit him, and he was, Viva la Mexico! And he just went off, bro, because he realized he had finally done it. It took him a moment, but he realized it. What about when Juliana Pena defeated Amanda Nunes, and she's in the octagon almost in shock, and then it hits her, and she jumps on top of the cage, and she starts celebrating. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of moments. What about when Charles Oliveira captured the lightweight championship? What about when he was having that moment where he realized what he had been through, what he had strived and what he had endured, what he had suffered through, and he was now the champion? Imagine if Dominick Reyes makes his comeback and captures the championship this time around. It would be one of the greatest feel-good championship wins in the UFC in a long time. I'm not saying it's the greatest. It might be arguable, but I'm not going to say that off the top of my head. But, bro, it would be amazing. So, main event, Carlos Ulberg versus Dominick Reyes. I got Dominick Reyes to go out there and get the win, and I'm calling for the UFC to give this man a title shot right after. So let me know what you guys think. You know, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know who you got. Who do you got? Do you got Carlos Ulberg winning? Do you got Dominick Reyes? And do you co-sign that what a good story would be if Dominick Reyes is able to go out there and at least capture another title shot, let alone win the championship, which would be amazing. Please let me know what you think. Let me know your pick in the main event. Please like, subscribe, comment. And once again, I do want to thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I check you next time. Peace.